Universe 7 just won the power tournament, and android number 17 would ask for his wish to rebuild the 12 universes. I can't believe everything happened, said Beerus, relieved. Well done, friends. We got it, said Goku, happy. Goku, that was great, said both Inasamas when arriving with Goku. Did you see it? We would have to repeat it another day, said Goku. Enough, we have to go, said Beerus when intervening. If you allow us, we will return to our universes, said Beerus, terrified. We are very proud of each of the participants, said Daishankin while he was surrounded by his children. Each of you has exceeded your limits, and they have given us an unequaled show. Especially the last participants have shown to be stronger than the same gods of destruction of their universes. The gods of destruction would be terrified. They had been left in evidence that their mortals had surpassed them. That means they have been left behind, and they are vulnerable, Daishankin would conclude with a strange tone of sinister voice. The gods of destruction are very weak, said both Inasamas. Damn, they have put us in a very complicated position, Beerus, terrified, would think. The gods of destruction are very weak. La la la, they would begin to sing, both Inasamas. All the gods of destruction would feel inferior. The tournament of power had only left evidence that there were mortals more powerful than the same gods. Great priest, can I ask who are those mortals stronger than the gods? Arak would ask. I don't think they are all. If so, we will be forced to strengthen ourselves. Oh, that's the idea, Daishankin would answer. I appreciate you putting the matter in question. The mortals who have surpassed their own gods of destruction are, Daishankin said, leaving a pause to generate more suspense. Mortals stronger than the gods, Goku would think carefully. I can't wait to know who they are. In Universe 7, Goku and Vegeta, Daishankin would say when pointing them out. Wow, we did it, Vegeta, Goku would say, celebrating. I'm stronger than Beerus the Destroyer, Vegeta would think when watching Beerus. After seeing how unattainable he is, I have surpassed him. I'm stronger than a god of destruction. In Universe 6, only the fusion of Kyle and Kafla, called Kefla, has surpassed Champa, Daishankin would say. Sister, can you believe it? Kyle would ask. If we can overcome it, that's great, Kafla would say. In Universe 3, Aranaza, made up of 4 of his warriors, has surpassed Moscow, his god of destruction of Universe 3, Daishankin would say. Moscow would start making cybernetic sounds. Mr. Moscow, don't say that, Io would say, terrified. What did he say? They would ask both Zeno-samas seriously. He said he is very proud of Dr. Paparoni's work. Io would lie not to make the Zeno-samas angry. And finally, in Universe 11, Mr. Jiren, Daishankin would say. Although, of course, Mr. Topo has also done it, but becoming a god. Even so, in that phase, he surpassed Bermude. I have no complaints. I'm very proud of my people, Bermude would smile. Besides, I'm about to retire. I'm one of the gods of the oldest destruction that remains. Bermude is old, one of the Zeno-samas would say. Yes, Bermude is old, said the other Zeno-sama. Kakaroto, did you notice that? Vegeta would ask, speaking in a low voice to Goku. Yes, it seems that the gods hate us, said Goku. A warning for everyone, said Daishankin, gaining the attention of the gods of the 12 universes. Zeno-sama is very worried. Although he is happy with the result of the tournament, he has noticed the weakness of his gods. Therefore, he demands the gods to strengthen before their mortals. It is unacceptable that beings with such ephemeral life surpass gods with thousands of years. This will get ugly, said Goku. Each of the participants would return to their respective universes. Our friends would be aware of what had happened. Kakaroto, although we are stronger than Beerus, the other gods of destruction saw us with great contempt, said Vegeta. I know. If we had to face Beerus, we would beat him. But can we against all the gods of destruction? Goku would ask. I don't think those gods are only strong subjects. They must have much more advanced techniques, said Vegeta. Ho ho ho, what do I see? Are they going to challenge the gods? Would ask with a sinister smile. Frieza, you want to die again? Goku would ask angrily. Don't you dare threaten me, dirty simian, said Frieza. I'm not threatening you, I'm warning you, said Goku. Beerus is upset with me and Vegeta for being stronger than him. But no, you don't stay behind. What makes you think that Beerus will not destroy you? Goku would ask. Are you serious? Frieza would answer angrily. I understand what Goku says, said Piccolo. It is possible that from now on, Beerus eliminates every warrior who threatens his position. Zeno-sama does not want more powerful mortals than his gods. Do you really think that Beerus would kill us all? Frieza would ask. Think about it. He fears us, and you could reach us, said Goku. Remember that I am not your friend. We are still rivals. I only helped you so as not to be destroyed along with the Universe 7, said Frieza when leaving there. Vegeta, let's use the Room of Time, said Goku. Vegeta would observe the others. He felt that something could happen. Okay, but we'll take turns, said Vegeta. If we disappear for a whole day and Beerus knows it, we will be vulnerable. Meanwhile, on Beerus's planet, you would see the god of destruction and his angel having a meeting. Everyone communicated through the vessels of their angels. Each one was in their respective universe. So we are talking about Goku, Vegeta, Jiren, Toppo, Kefla, and Anaraza, said Jerez seriously. In my universe, Kefla is not a problem. They depend on the Potara clay to achieve the fusion, said Champa. So discard Kefla. Mr. Champa, remember that both Caulifla and Kale could fuse in another way, said Vados. The Potara clay is the fast and effective way. Also remember, the transformation of Kale. I don't think it's someone you should underestimate. It's true, they're also Saiyajin. Champa, go and destroy them right now, demanded Beerus. You're no one to give me orders, Champa furious would answer. I pass, said Bermude. What are you talking about? Jerez furious would ask. I'm not going to eliminate Jiren, much less Toppo. He will be my successor, Bermude would answer. You could perfectly take care of Jiren with Toppo's help. Anyway, he will be a god along with us, said Beerus. I refuse, said Bermude, for 2 reasons. 1, Toppo would not betray Jiren. He is a loyal and just man. That's why I want him as my successor. And 2, I would never beat Jiren, and if I could do it, I wouldn't. Gods, give a little shame, okay? Instead of getting stronger, you only think about betraying those who fought for them, okay? Margarita would say. It's a good point. Why don't you train? Vados would ask. Anyway, we must train. But first we must eliminate those who threaten our position, Arak would say. Or we could join, Jerez Furious would smile. What are you talking about? Bermude would ask. We will join the gods of destruction. Between the 12, we will go for Jiren, Goku, and Vegeta. We'll see what we do with Toppo. And of course, I don't think Anaraza is a problem. After all, they are 4 individual subjects that are worth nothing by themselves. Jerez would say. Moscow would speak, making digital sounds. Mr. Moscow says he will destroy Dr. Paparoni and the other 3 members separately, Campari would say. Do whatever you want, but leave Universe 11 out of your plans, Bermude would say, and then disconnect from the call. I think we'll leave Jiren for last. First, let's take care of Goku and Vegeta, Beerus would say. I still think you should train instead of turning off those who have surpassed you, Vados would say. Shut up, we give the orders, furious Champa would say. As you command, Vados would smile. A few minutes later, Bermude warned Jiren and Toppo about the gods' plan to take precautions. While on Earth, Vegeta had just entered the Room of Time. Very well, Vegeta, I wish you luck, Goku would say. Whatever, Vegeta would answer indifferently and enter the Room of Time. The next day, Vegeta would leave the Room of Time. Goku was waiting for him. Wow, you've gotten very strong. I think you've outdone me, Goku would say. Shut up and use your turn. When you leave, I'll train again, Vegeta would answer. Gohan had just arrived. I imagined you would be here, Gohan would say. Do you still have that idea that Beerus could attack us? We don't know, but we want to be ready. The gods watch us with great hatred, Goku would say. Then I will also train, Gohan would say. Okay, I'll use the Room of Time, and after that you can use it, Goku would say. What? We were supposed to use it together, Vegeta would say. Come on, Vegeta, don't be selfish. Besides, Gohan has a lot of potential, Goku would say. Goku would finally enter the Room of Time. While Vegeta and Gohan trained in the Kami-sama Temple, suddenly Vegeta would be terrified. He could see himself in his expression. Vegeta, what's going on? Gohan would ask. Right? You can't feel them? Vegeta would say. What? Gohan would ask nervously. The key of the gods. All of them have come, Vegeta would say. All of them? Gohan would ask. We have to warn my father. No, leave him, Vegeta would say. But with him we could beat them, Gohan would say. No, with him we would lose anyway, Vegeta would say. Piccolo and Dende were there too. Are you sure they are all gods? Piccolo would ask. Yes, there is no doubt about that, Vegeta would say. Vegeta would observe the Room of Time. Then he would raise his ki and fly away. Vegeta, Gohan would say, and he would follow him. I will go too, Piccolo would say, when he flies away. I guess staying here won't help, Dende would say, when he flies away too. A few minutes later, all of the destruction gods would be attacking Earth, calling everyone's attention. Do you think they will take long to come? Jerez would ask. No, Goku and Vegeta can feel our ki, Beerus would answer. Vegeta and the others would arrive. Wow, you came, Beerus would say. I knew they would do something as cowardly as this, Vegeta would say, when he transformed into Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta would throw everything at Beerus. He would connect a strong blow to his face. Then he would attack with a rain of attacks that the god of destruction couldn't resist. Champa would arrive to help his brother, and he would attack with a kick on his back. Dirty swindler, Vegeta would say, furious. Gohan would throw everything to help Vegeta, but Arak would stand in front of him. He would hit him with a knee in his stomach. Gohan would try to attack him, but Arak would disappear him with a Hakai. I killed Goku S, Arak would say. What? Goku was here? Beerus would ask. Of course, I remember it perfectly. It was S, Arak would say. He looked weak. He didn't transform in time, and I took advantage. You just confused Gohan with Kakaroto, Vegeta would think. Gohan would think, "Furious Piccolo, I won't forgive you." Piccolo would scream when he threw himself to Auric, but before he arrived, Auric would disappear him with a Hakai. "Mr. Piccolo," Dende would say, terrified. "You too," Jerez would say, when Dende disappeared with a Hakai. "There are too many. Besides, I can't cancel everyone's Hakai," Vegeta would think. Vegeta would remember a conversation he had with Dende some time ago, where he would ask him what would happen if the Earth was destroyed, while there was someone in the Room of Time. Dende had told him that no matter what happens to the Earth, the interior of the Room of Time would remain intact, only that when leaving, whoever was inside would go out into space. "I just have to trust Kakaroto. He will avenge us," Vegeta would think. "Very well, no matter what you have done with Kakaroto, I will eliminate them," Vegeta would say, to make it clear that they will not have Goku as an enemy. "So it was Goku," Beerus would think. All the gods of destruction would point to Vegeta. Each of them would attack with energy of Hakai. Vegeta would resist for a moment, but every time it became more difficult. At one point, Vegeta would not be able to bear it, and it would disappear completely. "Ready? We finish here," Jerez would say. Beerus would drop a ball of Hakai, little by little. The Earth would disappear completely. What will happen now that Goku and Vegeta were betrayed and the Earth disappeared? Will Goku be able to escape from the Room of Time at some point? And even more important, what will happen if Goku gets out? Will he take revenge on all the gods? All that we will know in the next part of this theory. So far this video, friends. If you want to see part 2 of this theory, of Goku locked in the Room of Time for millennia and betrayed, this video has to reach 30 likes and many comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That will motivate me to continue uploading videos and theories for you. See you in the next video. Goku would be training inside the room without knowing anything. For him, only a few days had passed. At one point, Goku would touch his heart. He felt a strange sensation. "Why do I feel that something bad happened?" Goku would ask. Goku would think about leaving the time room, but he would realize that the door was not there. "It can't be. I'm locked up," Goku would say. Goku did not know what to do. He knew that if the time room door was not there, it was because someone had destroyed it. "It can't be that," Goku would say, thinking about the worst. "No, anything but that. Anyway, if something bad happened, it's because Vegeta couldn't defend the Earth. I just have to get stronger." In Universe 6, Caulifla and Kefla would be enjoying their lives as if nothing happened. At that moment, Heat would appear as if nothing happened in front of them. "Hey, what are you doing here?" Caulifla would ask, putting herself on guard. "I didn't come to hurt you," Heat would say, giving them the Potara clay. "Why are you giving us this? Do you want to have a fight with us?" Caulifla would ask. "Sister, wait to see what he says. Don't rush," Kale would say. "It's an order. Someone told me they would attack them, but they didn't give me more details," Heat would say. "Attack us?" Caulifla would ask. "Who would attack us?" Kale would ask. Heat would be thoughtful for a few minutes until he finally decided to speak. "I'm not allowed to say it, but I will," Heat would say. "Champa is coming to eliminate them." "What? Why would he do something like that?" Caulifla would ask. "The gods are terrified of the beings that have managed to overcome them," Heat would answer. "And you two in your fusion are his objective, that disgusting fat guy," Caulifla would say. "Champa is coming alone, but the other gods have just attacked Goku and Vegeta in Universe 7. They are uniting so as not to work alone," Heat would explain.
"We will merge and finish him," Caulifla would say. "Not so fast." "If they merge now, it will only last 30 minutes, Heat would say. Heat would stop time and give them the clay. "If they do it now, within the stopped time, they will merge forever," Heat would explain. "Forever?" Caulifla would ask. "That's right, hurry up," Heat would say. Caulifla and Kale would place the Potara clay. In an instant, both would merge. As soon as they finished, Heat would stop his jump in time and would fall on his knees, agitated. "It was too long," Heat would say, exhausted. "Wow, I never thought I would be like this forever," Kefla would say. "Now I must go. If you see Champa, do not hesitate to face him, but do not let him run away, or he will call the other gods," Heat would say. "Okay, thank you," Kefla would answer. Heat would leave Kefla alone. "So, Champa comes to look for us. To look for me," Kefla would say. A few hours later, Champa would reach the planet Sadala. Thanks to the tracking of Vados, he would realize that Caulifla and Kale had merged. "How is it possible that those two have merged?" Heat would ask. "What? How did it happen?" Vados would ask. "I hope you have nothing to do with this," Heat would say. "Me? Not at all," Vados would lie. "Since she had been the one who sent the clay Potara through Heat. It does not matter. I will destroy this planet anyway. After all, the Saiyans didn't like me at all," Champa would say. Champa would see the planet Sadala from the sky. He would drop a Hakai ball. "Goodbye, planet Sadala," Champa would say. In a moment, Champa would see how the Hakai ball he had thrown would turn into light and disappear. "But how is it possible?" Champa would ask in amazement. Kefla would reach the same height as him. "With what wanting to disappear? Dirty, fat, filthy," Kefla Furious would say. "You," Champa Furious would say while creating a Hakai ball.
"Now you will see, Vados, how I will disappear them," Champa would say to Vados, but she would notice that she had moved away. "Hey, where are you going?" Champa would ask. "It's your fight. I can't interfere," Vados smiled. Champa would throw his Hakai ball, but Kefla would disappear. The Hakai ball would be lost in the sky. "Where?" Champa said, until he received a kick in his face. Kefla had arrived so fast that the god of destruction had no time to react. "Damn wretch," Champa would say as he threw everything at Kefla. Champa would attack with a variety of blows. Kefla was having trouble defending herself. "I'd better fight seriously," Kefla would say. Kefla would scream, raising her ki to its limits. Champa would be fired away by the burst of energy she released. "It's not possible," Champa would say. "Vados, call the other gods," Champa demanded. "It's not possible. If I did, they wouldn't arrive in time," Vados would explain. "I think it would have been a better idea to come with the other gods." "The other gods? Idiot! Don't you dare fight alone," Kefla would say furiously. Kefla would reach Champa with a strong blow to his stomach. He would leave him hunched. After a kick, he would lift him to the top of the sky. While Champa was rising at great speed, Kefla would reach him. He would kick him in the head, making him fall to the ground almost instantly. "Ha, you're a weakling," Kefla would say. Champa would get up with difficulty. He would spit a tooth that he would have lost by the recent attack. "There is a difference between you and me," Champa smiled. "And which one?" Kefla would ask in a bad mood. "That even if you are stronger than me, you are still a mortal. While I am a god of destruction," Champa would say. Champa would support his hands on the ground. It would fill with energy of Hakai and the entire planet Sadala. "Don't do it," Kefla would say when trying to reach Champa, but it would be too late. The entire planet Sadala would disappear completely. Vados and Champa were alone in space. "In the end, I won," Champa would say.
Even if you have escaped from my Hakai, you will die automatically when you come in contact with the emptiness of space. Champa and Vados would withdraw, leaving a great void where the planet Sadala was. Kefla floated in the middle of space. He protected himself from the void thanks to a barrier. That dam, I swear he's going to pay me, Kefla would say when spilling some tears. A whole day would pass. Within the room of time, a full year had already passed. Goku didn't know how to act in that situation. I can't get out of here. A whole day has already passed on Earth. I wonder how everyone will be, Goku would say before going to bed. Goku would enter a nightmare. Everything was dark and I didn't see anything. Where am I? Goku would ask. Suddenly, he would feel like something would hit his stomach. When trying to find out who it was, he would only see some red eyes in the background. Pills, is that you? Goku would ask furiously. Goku would throw himself towards the red eyes to attack him. But when he threw a fist, he would notice that his arm would begin to disappear due to Hakai energy. Then his body would also do it little by little. He would wake up upset. He had realized that everything was a nightmare. Damn, I thought it was real, Goku would say. Goku looked at his hand. He knew he was fine. I have to train by focusing on Hakai, Goku would say. I have to find a way to counteract the energy of destruction. I don't care how long it takes me. Anyway, one day I'll get out of here. In Universe 11, Jiren was already aware of the betrayal of the gods.
Vermouth had given him the warning. Remember, Jiren, although the gods have forbidden you to come here, I can't do anything if they face you, Vermouth would say. If two gods of destruction fight, their universes will be destroyed, okay? Margarita would intervene. I understand, Jiren would answer. Jiren, you won't be alone. I'll help you, decided Toppo would say. I refuse, Jiren would say. But Jiren, haunted Toppo would say, you will be the new god of destruction. Don't get involved in this, Jiren would say. Jiren is right. When my retirement arrives, I want you to be alive. I need you to be my successor and no one else. I can only trust you, Vermouth would say. You are the only one who has surpassed the gods who are not in sight of being eliminated, as long as you don't rebel against them before taking your place. But if I become a god of destruction, I won't be able to fight them, Toppo would say. It won't be necessary. That's why I'm here, Jiren would say when he retired. Jiren would resign from his position in the Pride Troop so as not to endanger his companions. And he would hide in a distant planet within the limits of Universe 11. 4 days would pass. The gods of destruction would finally find the planet where Jiren was. Each of the gods of destruction was being accompanied by their angel. So, here is Jiren, Beerus would say. That's right, there is no doubt about that, Whis would answer. Destroy the planet, don't waste time, Champa would say. We don't trust that we are 11. If we do that, how can we be sure that he won't escape? Jerez would ask. Come on, he's immortal. He couldn't survive in space, Champa would say. Don't underestimate him. His race is superior. It's not like Kefla, Beerus would say. Remember what he was capable of in the Tournament of Power. I'm not going to neglect myself against that monster, Champa would say. If he had trained and eaten more healthily, maybe he wouldn't have to worry, Vados would intervene. You again with that, Champa furious would answer. Mr. Beerus is right. Remember that the race of Frieza and Frost, the cold demons, have the ability to survive in space thanks to their molecular structure, Whis would comment. If someone could handle that information about Jiren, it would be Margarita and Bermude. But remember that they can't count on your support. That damned coward, Beerus would say. Luckily, he doesn't have much left as god of destruction.
The gods would finally enter the planet. After a few minutes, they would find Jiren. "There he is," a rock would point out. Jiren was in a meditation position while floating on the ground. The gods of destruction would be on guard. "So, nobody is going to attack?" Champa Furious would ask. "Why don't you attack then?" Beerus would ask. "Come on, go together. You are brothers after all," Jerez would say. "I don't think any of you dare to take the initiative," Vados would say. A key ball would go straight to Jiren, creating an explosion. Sidra had taken the initiative. "Sidra," Beerus would say, surprised. Sidra's legs were shaking. She was very scared. At the end of the explosion, at the moment of the smoke disappearing, they would not see Jiren. "Yes, I eliminated him," Sidra would say, happy. "I don't think you eliminated him just with that," Jerez would say. All the gods of destruction would remain silent. They were looking everywhere for Jiren's trail. "Come on, the little Martian has to be somewhere," Quitella would say. Suddenly, a strange sound would be heard. The gods would observe the origin of the sound. They would see Sidra with her eyes in white fall to the ground. "Is he dead?" Beerus would ask. "Not yet," Jiren would answer behind Beerus. Beerus would turn automatically and attack with a fist blow, but Jiren would dodge it and respond with another fist blow that would throw Beerus away. "I'm waiting for you," Jiren would say coldly. "If we don't attack all at the same time, we won't win," Beerus would say. Jiren would hold Beerus by the neck. He couldn't get rid of himself. "Damn, he's too strong," Beerus would think, unable to breathe. Jerez and a rock would throw themselves at Jiren, but he would throw Beerus over them with great power. Moscow would throw a beam of light straight into Jiren's eyes. He would be blind for a moment. While Jiren had the low guard, all the gods of destruction would attack with Hakai energy. Jiren would scream, increasing his ki to the maximum. His energy managed to counteract the Hakai of all the gods of destruction, but it was costing him too much energy.
Little by little, Jiren seemed to be losing against the gods of destruction. What could happen now that the gods of destruction attacked Jiren without mercy? Could Jiren come out alive from that situation? And also, what will happen to Kefla? When will Goku be able to leave the room of time? We will know all that in the next part of this theory. So far this video, friends. If you want to see part 3 of this theory of Goku locked in the room of time for millennia and betrayed, this video has to reach 50 likes and many comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel that will motivate me to continue uploading videos and theories for you. See you in the next video. Jiren was in a very complicated situation. He was fighting against the Hakai of 10 gods of destruction at the same time. "It cannot be that a mortal is so resistant," said Vils, furious. "We must finish it as soon as possible. Put more effort," said Jerez. The gods of destruction would increase the power in the Hakai they sent, but Jiren was very tenacious to let himself be defeated. He continued to support the energy of destruction by sending more energy. In a moment, the Hakai around Jiren would disappear, as if the wind took him away. "What was that?" asked Champa. "It was me," said Vermouth as he presented himself. "What are you doing here?" asked Jerez. "What do I do here?" said furious Vermouth. "It's my universe, Patanes." "You won't be willing to face us, will you?" asked Arok. "Fighting you would be destroying the universes," said Vermouth. "Get out of here right now, or I'll tell Zeno-sama everything you're doing." "You won't do something like that, idiot," said nervous Quitella. "If you bother Zeno-sama with something like this, he will make the 2 universes disappear." "Anyway, you will endanger him. You are good for nothing," said Vermouth. "Not so fast," said Jerez as he materialized an arc and an arrow with his ki.
Move and I'll attack. Jerez, you will destroy the universes 11 and 2, warned Beerus. You wouldn't do it, smiled Vermouth. Vermouth was sure Jerez wouldn't attack him, but when he watched him prepare his arrow, he began to suspect. You're crazy, said Vermouth, tense. Jerez would finally throw his arrow at great speed. Even so, Vermouth with great reflexes would hold it at the right time. I can't believe you did it, said Vermouth as he squeezed his fist and split the arrow in two. Something strange would begin to happen to Vermouth. He felt his body in a strange way. What did you do? Vermouth, terrified, would ask. You'll see. Jerez smiled. Vermouth's body would begin to turn into stone little by little. Impossible, said Vermouth before he finished turning into a statue. Wow, that was smart, said Beerus. It was a technique I had reserved for some of you, if you decided to attack my universe, said Jerez. What kind of person are you? Do you have a plan to stop us? Asked Catella, terrified. Yes, it just worked. Any complaints? Asked Jerez. Don't forget me, said Jiren as he put himself on guard. Margarita saw everything from her binoculars. This is not right. If you continue like this, Zeno-sama could get upset, said Margarita to Daishin-kan. I understand. Although, on the other hand, controlling the mortals who are more powerful than their gods was something very prudent, said Daishin-kan. At the cost of betraying another god of destruction and getting into other universes. Okay, said Margarita. Let's say it wasn't the smartest way, but at least it's an action, said Daishin-kan. What will we do? Asked Margarita. The angels have already observed too much. For now, I'll keep Zeno-sama entertained. I imagine that if they eliminate Jiren, they will calm down, said Daishin-kan. Meanwhile, the gods of destruction kept an intense battle against Jiren. Sidra had regained consciousness and would join the fight. Jiren would blow up his ki, sending hundreds of ki balls to all the gods. But Sidra would create a barrier in each of them to protect them, which gave a good result. The statue of Bermut was about to fall by the tremors, but Margarita would save him at the right time by taking him with her. Then Margarita would lightly hit Bermut's forehead with the tip of her staff. The statue would begin to tear everywhere, and Bermut would return to normal, letting a thin layer of stone fall. What happened? Asked Bermut, amazed. They turned you into stone, okay? Said Margarita. And Jiren? Asked Bermut. Margarita would show the images of the fight with her staff. I spoke to the Supreme Priest. He will entertain Zeno-sama so that he doesn't get upset. He says he wants no more noise, so he'll leave things like that, okay? You can't beat those bastards, said Bermut, furious. It doesn't matter how. Someday they will pay me. Jiren would slowly begin to wear out. 11 gods of destruction were too much for him. In a moment, Beerus would connect a strong blow to his stomach that would leave him with the low guard.
Now! Beerus would scream. The 11 gods of destruction would attack with Hakai again, as they had done before. Only now, they had Sidra, and Jiren was also very exhausted. I won't let you beat me, said Jiren. But it was getting harder and harder to resist it. Little by little, Jiren's energies would run out, and he would end up disappearing for Hakai. Jiren, said Bermud, furious. Believe me, I'm really sorry, okay? Said Margarita. The gods of destruction would return each to their universes. They were calm that those who were powerful had been defeated. Since that day, every time a mortal stood out, he was eliminated instantly. 15 years had passed. Bermud had already left his position of god of destruction several years ago, giving his place to Topo. Now Topo was observed with resentment by the rest of the gods. He was feared for always being faithful to Bermud.
In Universe 7, Frieza had been attacked by Beerus since the god of destruction had discovered that Frieza was secretly training and had increased his powers. After an intense fight, Frieza had managed to escape. The rest of Frieza's troops had been eliminated by Beerus. There was hardly anyone left alive. Frieza was wandering through space in a small ship. He was badly wounded. "Damn it! That filthy Beerus is going to pay!" said Frieza in pain. "Mr. Frieza," called Berry Blue, "we have found out something interesting." "I hope it's something that defeats Beerus," answered Frieza in a bad mood. "Well, that's right," said Berry Blue. "Are you serious?" asked Frieza in amazement. Berry Blue would show him on a computer the area of space where the Earth was. "There is a disturbance in space-time just where the Earth was before it was eliminated," said Berry Blue. "And what does that mean?" asked Frieza. "According to the data we collected from Earth more than 15 years ago, there was a training room where time flowed slower inside. In that place, those Saiyajin trained since a day out was a year in," said Berry Blue. Then Berry Blue would show the images of the Earth before its destruction, and how Beerus and the other gods of destruction had finished everyone. "I do not understand." "Goku is not there," said Frieza. "They confused him with his son," said Berry Blue. "That means that Goku is still alive," said Frieza in amazement. "And inside the Room of Time. I know he is his biggest rival, but I assure you that we will have more chances of surviving with Goku on our side than with Beerus chasing us," said Berry Blue. "Frieza would fall sitting. I was exhausted by the fight. If Beerus finds me, I'll be finished," said Frieza. But he refused to save Goku. "Let him stay in there." "But I love Frieza," said Berry Blue. "I said I refuse." Frieza would scream furiously. One of Frieza's soldiers would arrive upset. "I love Frieza, we are in trouble," the soldier would scream. "And now what?" Frieza would ask. "The god of destruction comes this way." "I think he found us," said the soldier. "What? It cannot be," said Frieza, terrified. "They will arrive in 2 hours at the speed in which it comes," said the soldier. "Mr. Frieza, do you really prefer to disappear before saving that Saiyan?" said Berry Blue. "Anyway, we can't do anything if we get there," said Frieza, furious. "Yes, we can," said Berry Blue. "I can open a portal to that dimension, but I need to be there." "Damn it," said Frieza, upset. "I felt a great impotency for being forced to save Goku." "How long will it take to get there?" Frieza would ask. "Like 2 hours," said the soldier. "That's the time it will take Beerus to get there," said Frieza. Berry Blue would show him a map of space. "I would draw the routes of the tour I had to do to Earth, and the tour I was doing, Frieza. If we leave now, Beerus will take longer than now or never," said Frieza. "Let's go," said Frieza finally. Beerus and Whis were on their way to eliminate Frieza. "I cannot believe he escaped in such a simple way," said Whis, disappointed by Beerus.
"Shut up," said Beerus, furious. "I should have eliminated him before. I did not think I would have so much power. I could not wait any longer. We are talking about a prodigy with overwhelming power without training," said Whis. "Anyway, it's not that bad. Frieza does not rival me. Once it's over, I'll be able to rest in peace," said Beerus. Whis watched with his binoculars the location of Frieza. Something caught his attention. "I think they know about us. They are fleeing," said Whis. "Then hurry. Anyway, our speed is much higher than that of any spaceship," said Beerus. "There is something strange," said Whis, suspecting about Frieza's journey. "And now what?" asked Beerus. "Frieza is going to where the Earth was formerly, on the Milky Way," said Whis. "And what about that?" asked Beerus. "Doesn't it seem suspicious to you?" asked Whis. "Please, what could it be?" laughed Beerus. "That's the point. Why would he go there?" said Whis seriously. 2 hours would pass. Frieza was about to reach Earth, and Beerus just about to reach it. "Sir, in just 10 minutes they will locate us," said the soldier. "Damn, there's no time,"
said Frieza, nervous. "It's here," said Berry Blue. "Sure?" asked Frieza. "That's right," answered Berry Blue. "They stopped where the Earth was." "Wait, you're not serious," said Beerus. "See for yourself," said Whis when showing him his binoculars. "Berry Blue, do it," said Frieza. Berry Blue's eyes would shine in a strange violet hue. By stretching his hands, a portal would be created inside the ship. That seemed to create a storm inside. Whis and Beerus were about to arrive, but they would feel a colossal kick appear. "It can't be true," said Beerus. "It seems so," Whis smiled. From the portal, Goku would come out. "Where am I?" Goku would seriously ask. So it was true. "You were," said Frieza, until he was interrupted by Goku's hand that would force him. "What did you do?" Goku would ask furiously. Frieza could not free himself. He could not speak either, as he could not breathe. "Wait, young man, we just saved you," said Berry Blue. Goku would finally release Frieza, and he would notice that he was already injured. "It's been a long time. I already lost count," said Goku seriously. "It doesn't say anything, damn ape," said Frieza. "Listen to me." "Beerus, come here. Come to destroy us," said Berry Blue. "What happened to the Earth?" Goku would ask. "It's gone. Beerus disappeared it 15 years ago," said Frieza. "I already imagined it," said Goku. "That's nothing. I also believed that you had disappeared," said Frieza. "So listen to me what I will tell you. 15 years ago, after the power tournament, the gods of destruction have dedicated themselves to eliminating the mortals who become strong. Now Beerus wants to kill me because I increased my powers." "So you only helped me to save your life?" said Goku, annoying. "Something like that." "In the same way you got me out of hell to save Universe 7, said Frieza. "I understand," smiled Goku. Beerus and Whis would arrive inside Frieza's ship. "Oh, what do I see? So long, Mr. Goku," said Whis. "Why don't you look surprised?" Beerus, annoying. "Beerus, they already told me that you destroyed the Earth," said Goku, annoying. "That's right. And now it's your turn," said Beerus when channeling Hakai energy in his hand and pointing with it to Goku. Beerus would not hesitate for a second to disappear Goku and Frieza with his Hakai. What will happen now that Goku was finally released from the Room of Time? How strong will Goku have become after so many years training? And even more important, will Goku be able to return everything to normal? We will know all that in the next part of this theory. So far this video, friends. If you want to see part 4 of this theory, this video has to reach 20 likes and many comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That will motivate me to continue uploading videos and theories for you. See you in the next video. See you in the next video.
Beerus was about to execute Goku using the Hakai. His hand was covered with energy of destruction, but soon it would fade. "But how?" Beerus would ask, confused. Goku smiled in a strange way, as if he knew what was happening. "I thought you were going to destroy me," Goku would say, demonstrating his great confidence. "If he avoided the Hakai, I could not perceive how he did it," Frieza would think. "I do not know how you did it, but I have trained for these 15 years, so I'll kill you clean hand," Beerus would say while he was preparing his fist. Beerus would throw a blow at Goku, but at the exact moment of doing so, he would notice his hand fall. Beerus would hold his wounded wrist. "His hand?" Frieza would say, amazed. Goku would step on Beerus's hand, crushing it completely. "When did he tear my hand?" Beerus would ask, terrified. "Whis, let's get out of here," Beerus would say, terrified. Beerus and Whis would leave there from one moment to another. "I do not understand. You stopped time?" Frieza would ask. "I do not do that kind of tricks," Goku would answer. "As for you," Goku would say by holding Frieza by the neck again, "Now you will have to tell me why you took me out of the room of time," Goku would say seriously. "Let me go!" Frieza would scream with rage. Frieza would hit Goku's face hard over and over again, but despite that, he did not do the slightest damage. His fists could not even make Goku blink. "You pity me," Goku would say when he released Frieza. "Mr. Goku, do not misunderstand. We save him because it is our only hope," Berry Blue would say. "Berry Blue, please do not try to ally with him," Frieza would say. "He just saved our lives," Berry Blue would say. "You should be grateful to him." "I prefer to think that we are at hand," Frieza would say. "I could not wait for another reaction from you," Goku said. "Now I need explanations. What happened since I'm not here?" "Talk to Berry Blue. I am not your servant," Frieza would say. "You are a bastard," Goku would say. "Beerus and the other gods of destruction attacked the Earth," Berry Blue would say. "I guess everyone died," Goku would say. "That's right, and with Hakai, so they are not in the beyond," Berry Blue would say. "They thought I had finished you off because another god of destruction destroyed Gohan and confused him with you for the like." "I see. I guess I'll have to finish them off," Goku would say. "And do you think you can do it?" Frieza would ask. "The gods of destruction killed all the powerful beings. Not even Jiren is alive. Ask Bill's hand," Goku smiled. Goku would stretch his hand towards Frieza. He would be terrified since he had witnessed Goku's power. "I guess it's my end after all," Frieza would think. An aura would go through Frieza's body. Suddenly, he was cured. "But," Frieza would say, amazed, "you got me out of that place. I spent 1,000 years locked up." "I guess I owed you," Goku would say. "Don't expect me to thank you," Frieza would say without losing his pride. "Bill was chasing you. He almost finished you off." "Tell me, don't you want me to finish him off?" Goku would ask. "Don't trust yourself. All the gods of destruction work together," Frieza would say. "They attacked all the powerful beings together for being afraid." "Who did they attack?" Goku asks. "Caulifla and Kale, along with the entire planet Sadala. Jiren, the 4 warriors of the Universe 3 who formed Arenaza," Frieza would say. "They forgave Toppo because now he is a god of destruction. They also finished off Head some time ago because he started to become famous in all the universes. There's no one left, Goku, no one to help you." "What about you?" Goku asks. "Bill was terrified by the sudden increase of my powers, but don't think I'll help you," Frieza would say. "It doesn't matter. You've done enough," Goku would say. Goku would take his fingers to his forehead, and he would disappear with the teleportation. He would reach Universe 11, right on the planet of the God of Destruction. "What is that?" Toppo would ask when he felt the presence of Goku. "It's strange. It looks like the presence of a god." "Okay," Margarita would say. Toppo and Margarita would leave their castle. They would see Goku in front of them. "Wait a minute. What is this?" Toppo would ask. "Hi, Toppo. Congratulations on being a god of destruction," Goku would greet. "Wait a minute. You can't be Goku," Toppo would say when he put himself on guard. "Of course I am. It happens that," Goku would say. But it would be interrupted by Toppo's attack. Toppo had arrived with a punch at high speed, but Goku would dodge it like nothing. "It's not true," Toppo would say. Toppo would attack with everything he had, but Goku simply dodged his attacks by moving from side to side without changing his posture. "Wow, Toppo, you're amazing! You have become very strong," Goku would say. "You are not Goku. He was destroyed 15 years ago along with the Earth," Toppo would say. "It's Goku," Margarita would say when interrupting the fight. "Margarita, are you sure about what you say?" Topo would ask. Of course, Los Angeles, we realize those things, okay? Margarita would answer. It can't be. Where have you been all this time? Topo would ask. Long story. I'll tell you if they give me some food, Goku would say in a nice way. Food? Topo would ask. Goku would be invited with the best dishes of Universe 11. While he ate, he would explain to Topo and Margarita about his confinement in the Room of Time. Meanwhile, Beerus was terrified. His hand had been regenerated thanks to Whis. Quick, tell the rest, Beerus would say. Goku's power is infernal. If we don't get together, the gods, we won't beat him. As you wish, sir, Whis would answer. Whis would call the rest of the angels. Everyone would answer instantly, except for Margarita, who took a long time. Quick, hide, Margarita would say. Why? I'm not afraid of them. You should, Topo would say when he held Goku by the head and hid him under the table. Hey, this is a warning to all the gods of destruction, Beerus would say, upset. You could read his nervousness in his expression. Now what do you want? Champa would ask while he whispered. Goku is alive. Beerus would scream. Beerus, don't make bad jokes, Jerez would say, upset. It's not a joke. Goku was with Frieza. He saved his life just before he eliminated him, Beerus would say. That can't be true. I eliminated him myself, Arak would say. Well, it turns out not. I saw it with my own eyes, Beerus would say. Wait, I'm sure it wasn't an illusion, Kitella would say. Of course not. I have Whis as a witness, Beerus would say when he pointed to his angel. Mr. Beerus doesn't lie, Whis would intervene. All the gods of destruction would be terrified. Except Champa. Come on, if Goku is alive, he can't do anything alone, Champa would say. He knows how to cancel Hakai, Beerus would warn. That's impossible, Sidra would say. I'm serious. I was about to execute him with Hakai. And somehow he managed to cancel it, Beerus would say. Don't you understand? I faced him. And when I decided to attack him, he just cut my hand without me realizing it. Whis, is it true? Jerez would ask. Is it true? I just rebuilt his hand, Whis would answer. No problem, if it's about Goku. We can use the Dragon Super Spheres, Arak would say. Champa, Beerus, start looking for them. The universes from 1 to 5, we will go to Universe 6 to help. The universes from 12 to 8, they will go to 7. Don't count on me. Topo would say, Heavens! We forgot he was useless. Quitella would say, Yes, Beerus, why did you call him? You can think whatever you want of me, but I will not oppose Goku, Topo would say. Topo would lose the image of the scythe of Margarita. Wow, you're rude. They cut us, okay? Margarita would say. Goku, you have to prevent the gods from gathering the dragon's super spheres, Topo would say. No problem. I'll finish them all, Goku would say, although I have to recognize his power. The gods of destruction have powerful techniques, okay? Margarita warned, especially Jerez. He can turn you into stone with his ki arrows. I'll take it into account, Goku would say when he took his fingers to his forehead. Wait, you're not alone, Topo would say. I appreciate you, but you are a god of destruction. You can't fight. Also, I should stay even if it's 1, Goku said, believing that Topo would offer his help. No, it's not about me. I have 2 people who can help you, Topo would say. Margarita, please. Of course, Margarita would say. Margarita would spin her staff in the air, creating a portal. Topo, Goku, and Margarita would pass. This has to be a dream, Bermud would say. Hi, long time no see, Goku would say. I have to thank you for being the only god who didn't betray me. Goku would say when he stretched his hand. Goku? Kefla would ask. Kefla? Goku would say, surprised. I don't understand. They were supposed to have destroyed you, Kefla would say, amazed. Well, the same thing happened to you. I guess fate brought them together, Toppo would say. Hey, not at all. Where did you get in? Kefla would ask, furious. Let him speak. Bermud would say. Goku would take a few minutes to explain to them about his confinement in the Room of Time and how Frieza had helped him get out. After giving them all the details, Goku noticed Kefla's great power. Hey, you look strong. If you're going to help, I want to test you, Goku would say. Mr. Goku, don't be disrespectful, Toppo would say, ashamed. What? I want to fight her to test her level. Goku would say without understanding anything. Of course, there is no problem, Kefla would say. But I warn you, Bermud himself has trained me for years, so you won't have it easy. Kefla has spent a few years inside the Room of Time, but not as much as you, Bermud would say. That they can split up to finish off the gods is enough, Bermud would say. Kefla would raise his ki to the maximum. The others would move away. I am surprised by your power, but remember that I have warned you of the excessive use of brute force, Goku would say when he got into a fighting position. Kefla from one moment to another had reached Goku with a punch. Goku would dodge it for a while. That was close, Goku would say, amazed. Kefla would turn on himself. He would throw a spinning kick, but Goku covers himself using his arm. That was powerful, Goku would say. Then Kefla would attack with a rain of attacks. Goku defended himself, but he began to have difficulty dodging all the attacks. Then Goku would transform into Super Saiyan, expelling Kefla away. Kefla would fly away. Nobody could believe Goku's power. And that he has not used the ki of a god, Bermud would say with a smile. You're amazing. You have to marry me, Kefla would say. Miss Kefla, Toppo would say, while Margarita laughed. Thanks for the offer, but I plan to use the dragon's super spheres to return everything to normal, Goku would say. Okay, I'll help you, Kefla would say. Let's do this. I will go with Kefla to Universe 7. There will be 5 gods there. Goku, you go to Universe 6 to meet the other 6. Are you going to fight too? Goku would ask. For your information, I am no longer a god of destruction, Bermud would say when he pointed out. I can certainly fight against a god of destruction with total freedom. That would be great, Goku would say. Goku would take his fingers to his forehead. He would travel straight to Universe 6. Take me, you can also travel freely like Goku, Kefla would say to Bermud. Bermud would hold Kefla and go with her to Universe 7. Now Goku, Kefla, and Bermud were determined to defeat the gods and return all the universes to normality. What could happen now that Goku will face the gods of destruction? This video has to reach 20 likes and many.
Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That will motivate me to continue uploading videos and theories for you. See you in the next video.
Caulifly and Vermood would go to Universe 7. They were looking for the dragon's super spheres. You don't know how much I want to face those grannies, Kefla would say when her fists collided. Don't worry, remember there are 6, 3 for each one, Vermood warned. And remember what I've taught you, don't respond to provocations, just focus on the fight. Don't worry, I'll do my best, Kefla would answer. On the other hand, Goku would go to Universe 6. Very well, let's see where they are, Goku would say. Goku would close his eyes, looking for the key to the gods of destruction. The first ones he would find would be Katella and Moscow. They were both together. I see, Goku would say. Goku would teleport in front of them. They would both be terrified. You can't go, Katella would say, terrified. Looking for the dragon's super spheres, Goku smiled. You better go if you don't want to die, Katella would say, terrified. How strange. I noticed that your legs are shaking, Goku would say when he pointed out Catella's legs. Catella didn't know how to react, but Moscow would act. And he would throw everything at Goku. Moscow would stretch his metallic arm, but Goku would disappear from his forehead. Goku was behind Moscow. He would hold his arm and tear it off. Then Moscow would go back terrified. Come on, I haven't even hurt you. I know you're really inside that robot, Goku would say. Goku would hit Moscow's center, breaking his metallic armor, and he would take Moscow out of his neck. Damn, let me go, Moscow would say. It can't be. I've never seen Moscow for real. Catella would think. Damn, let me go, Moscow would say, desperate. As I thought, you're not a real warrior, Goku would say when he threw Moscow at Catella. You're just a hidden being behind a piece of metal capable of using Hakai. We have to try it, Catella would say. Hakai! Hakai! Moscow and Catella would scream at the same time. But Goku did not suffer any damage. It can't be, Moscow would say. Suddenly, Goku would raise his hand. He had held an arrow. Jerez would arrive with Iwan. So you guys came too, Goku would say when he broke the arrow with his hand. Arak and Champa would arrive warned of Goku's presence. It can't be that he's here, furious Champa would say. Don't worry, Jerez would say when he clapped his fingers. Goku would slowly turn into stone from head to toe. Well done, Jerez, Catella would say. Now is when we will finish Goku once and for all. Jerez would say when he threw himself at Goku. Jerez would attack with a fist, but Goku's arm would be released, and he would hold Jerez's neck. Impossible, Catella would say. Then Goku's body would crack. Stone fragments would fall. Do you really think that with such a simple technique you could defeat me? Goku asks. It's not true. This can't be happening, Jerez would say, astonished. Of course, you surely wanted to break me into thousands of pieces while I was made of stone, Goku would say. Attack, Champa would say. The 6 gods of destruction would surround Goku, and they would launch at the same time. Goku would scream, creating an explosion of ki around him, while he transformed into Super Saiyan Blue. All the gods of destruction would be fired far away by the expansion of energy. It's useless. We don't have a chance against him, Arak would say. I don't think that with an apology this can be solved, Champa would say. Well, actually, yes. If they ask me for an apology and give me the dragon's super spheres, I will realize that nothing happened, Goku would say. Really? Champa would ask. Of course not, Goku would say, as his tone of voice would get worse. Goku would go one by one to each god of destruction. With a single blow to each one, he would leave them all fainted. He could kill them, but that's not my style. With knowing that there is a mortal capable of defeating them, and that they live with that fear forever, it's enough for me, Goku would say seriously. The 6 gods of destruction would be floating in space. There was nothing they could do. Now that I think about it,
How do I move the dragon's super spheres? Goku would ask. Meanwhile, Kefla and Vermood would reach one of the dragon's super spheres. They haven't come for this yet, Vermood would say. What do we do? Do we wait for them? Kefla would ask. I guess it will be a good idea, Vermood would answer. Minutes later, Ramesh would arrive. Vermood? Ramesh would say, surprised. It's been a long time, Vermood would smile. Wait a minute. That's the Saiyan girl from the power tournament, Ramesh would say, recognizing Kefla. They thought I was dead, and I was just preparing for my revenge, Kefla would say, increasing his ki. Now I can finally kick his ass, since I'm no longer a god, Vermood would say, increasing his ki. Don't think I'll let you go so easily, Ramesh would say, getting into a fighting position. Ramesh would throw himself at Vermood with a punch, but Vermood would dodge it easily and respond with a hook under Ramesh's chin. After a spinning kick that hits his chest, he would throw him away.
It can't be, Ramesh would say, cleaning the blood off his face. You're worthless because you haven't trained. However, I've given it my all waiting for this day, Vermood would say. Sidra would come attacking Vermood from behind. Don't worry, you're not alone, Sidra would say. With you, the most useless of the gods, Vermood would say, recovering his posture. Ramesh and Sidra would throw themselves at Vermood, but Kefla would intervene by chalking Sidra to fight him. Hey, coward, this is 1 versus 1, Kefla would say. Kefla would fight Sidra, while Vermood would fight Ramesh. The gods of destruction were clearly at a disadvantage, since their rivals were very powerful. In a few minutes, Jin and Liquor would arrive. Without thinking about it, they would both join the fight. Jin would support Sidra, while Liquor would support Ramesh. Even so, both Vermood and Kefla were still in the lead. They were much stronger than the gods of destruction. Now, Vermood would say. Okay, Kefla would answer. Kefla and Vermood would join to launch a powerful energy attack at the 4 gods of destruction. Sidra would create a barrier to protect the 4, while the remaining 3 would support the barrier with energy. The attack of Kefla and Vermood would merge, turning into a great ray of energy of 2 colors in a spiral. Now, Kefla and Vermood would shout. Sidra's barrier would not resist for long. It would end up breaking completely, while the 4 gods of destruction would be lost in an explosion. That was very easy, Vermood would say. The 4 gods of destruction would stand up with difficulty. They would not give up so easily. Vermood and Kefla would run to them to execute them, but Beerus would arrive out of nowhere getting in their way. Not so fast, Beerus would say seriously. I'll finish you, Kefla would shout as he threw himself towards Beerus, but Vermood would stand in front of her. Wait, don't rush, Vermood warned. What's going on? Kefla would ask attentively. There's something different about Beerus, Vermood would say. I see you're very observant. You've noticed, Beerus smiled. Beerus would float slowly towards Vermood. Damn, you've gotten very strong, Vermood would say. I don't understand. I see it the same as everyone else, Kefla would say. Well, come and check it out, Beerus would say, as he called her. Kefla would go at full speed towards Beerus, but before she could attack him, she would be fired far away. Kefla, I told you, Vermood furious would say. It can't be. I didn't see when he hit me, Kefla would say, as he touched his face, since it was the place where he had received the blow. Go ahead, try it again, Beerus would say with a malicious smile. Kefla, don't do it, Vermood warned. I won't let this bastard get away with it, Kefla furious would say. Kefla would increase her ki to the maximum. She would give everything in this fight. Kefla would launch towards Beerus. She would start attacking him with a variety of attacks between punches and kicks, but they were all dodged by Beerus with great ease. Kefla is using the Ultra Instinct, Vermood would scream. The what? Kefla would ask.
Beerus would hit Kefla's stomach. She would lose her transformation, returning to her base form. You're weak, Beerus would say. Beerus would create a ki ball in his hand and throw Kefla far away. Kefla would faint in Vermood's arms. This can't be. It didn't have to be like this, Vermood would say. You could have supported us years ago, but you wanted to oppose us, Beerus would say as he approached Vermood. Now comes the destruction. Goku would arrive just in time. Beerus would retreat, although he looked more confident than before. Beerus is enough, Goku would say. What have you come with? Beerus would say. I see you too confident despite the difference in power, Goku would say seriously. Goku, don't trust yourself. Master the Ultra Instinct. You defeated Kefla effortlessly, Vermood would say, terrified. The 6 gods of destruction whom Goku had defeated would arrive. Everyone would look furious. Now that we are the 11, I will win, Beerus would say. Please defeat those 6 useless ones with 1 blow each, Goku would say. We'll see, Beerus would say. Now, Beerus would scream as he extended his arms to the sides. Each of the 11 gods of destruction would stretch their arms pointing to Beerus. Everyone sent him energy of destruction. Vermood, stay away from Kefla. This will be dangerous, Goku would say. Vermood would move away. Beerus received the power of his companions, strengthening more and more. That's it! That's it! More! Beerus would scream as his muscles grew. It can't be, Goku would say as he put himself on guard. It's doing the same thing I did to become a Saiyan. God phase for the first time. Goku would throw everything at Beerus, but when he attacked, Beerus would hold Goku by the fist. Impossible, Goku would say, shocked. Believe it, Beerus would say, as he sent Goku far away with a kick under his chin. Goku would leave several meters, but he would stand up. And he would transform into Super Saiyan Blue on the first chance. Very good. At least I already have someone to fight with, Goku would say, excited. Beerus's body would be covered with a purple energy, as if it were the Hakai that was giving him more energy. Goku and Beerus would braid their hands. Both would begin to force each other. To everyone's surprise, the fight seemed even. How is it possible that this useless has become so strong thanks to us? Champa would ask with great envy. Beerus would break the grip posture by connecting a strong headbutt on Goku's face. Goku would retreat a few meters and cover himself just in time for a Beerus blow. It's strong, Goku would think. Goku and Beerus would begin to exchange blows, while everyone shook the Dragon Super Sphere where they were. I can't believe these two fight at the same level, Vermuda would say, amazed. Goku and Beerus were still fighting, but Goku looked confident, as if he knew that his victory was assured. You have done very well, but you made a very serious mistake, Goku would say. What are you talking about? Beerus would ask, confused. You will realize, Goku smiled. Goku would begin to attack Beerus. At first, Beerus covered all attacks easily, but little by little he began to feel that he was losing power. What's wrong with me? Beerus would ask, terrified. Goku takes advantage, and with a hammer blow he lands on Beerus, hitting him on the ground. Beerus would fall seriously injured. I don't understand, Beerus would say in pain. The power you had was surprising, but it was only for a moment, Goku would say. Beerus, you didn't get stronger. You just used a borrowed energy that is now over, Goku would explain. Goku would fly to Beerus to execute him, but Daishinkan would be present, interrupting the fight. The Supreme Priest looked very angry. What will happen now that Goku defeated the gods of destruction? Will Goku be able to gather the Dragon Super Spheres? And even more importantly, what will be the reason for the arrival of Daishinkan? We will know all that in the next part of this theory. So far, this video, friends. If you want to see part 6 of this theory, this video has to reach 20 likes and many comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That will motivate me to continue uploading videos and theories for you. See you in the next video.